Once again, I want to thank you, the people and the leadership of Mbarara, for receiving us the way you did. I'm happy. Since last night, I was here enjoying your hospitality without your permission, but because you are good people, you didn't disturb me. Thank you very much. We work in the Ministry of Lands, Housing and Urban Development. We're 4 ministers handling issues of land and urban development. Now, land is already a very big issue in Uganda because the size of the land that we have does not grow. But the number of people who occupy the land keeps growing. And I believe, and we all believe, in a few more years, the size of the land as occupied to the number of people will continue to reduce. So land is going to be a problem. And the best way is to find out how do we use it to the maximum for our benefit. And that's where the issue of urbanization comes. Many people are living the rural areas because there are opportunities in urban areas. The markets are in urban areas. Good life, they say, is in urban areas. The opportunities to make money are in the urban areas, the schools, and many other things. That is good for government. Because when people collect in one place, it is easier for government to provide services to many more people than in the rural areas. So now, because of this importance, government attaches a lot of importance to the issue of urbanization and the people living in the urban areas. How do we handle their services and their requirements? And I'm in charge of that docket. The president gave me that opportunity for the time being to be in charge. And one of the projects we run is this USMID. I would like to tell you the nature of USMID. USMID is not a government, it's not a project for government per se. It's for you, the people. It's for you, the local governments here. What we do at the national level is look for resources and come and collaborate with you to make sure those services are provided most efficiently and timely. So they are for you. Therefore, I call on the leadership of Mbarara and all the urban areas where USMID is operating to own the processes and the projects of USMID. Help us to help you. Like the motto of the police says, help the police to help you. Help us in the ministry to help you. So when the project is here, selecting a project is not that of the ministry. My My brother here, I asked him, they were asking for a number of projects to be selected by us. No, we don't select those projects. Your people, the political leadership with the technical people, will select which roads, which schools, which parks do you want to be worked upon. And we merely submit the money to them. This is extremely important. We submit the money to the district and to the cities. So I thought I should make this right from the beginning so that we understand the nature of USMI. I'm happy to the people of Mbarara that when you selected the project, when the projects were selected, you did not stop them by demanding for compensation. A road is going to pass here. Before it passes, you must compensate me. Don't ask to be compensated because this is your project. How do you want yourself to be compensated for your project? For example, when this road passes by these shops here, the verandas will be more beautiful. The parking areas will be more beautiful. More customers will come for those people. So I'm happy that we have not received the issues of compensation along all the projects which are here, and I hope this will continue to be the position, so that these contractors do not have an excuse. They don't have an excuse of delaying the implementation of the project. Of course, there is the challenge we have had with service, our brothers and sisters, the service providers for water, power, where we're charging each other, and sometimes it delays the project. That's a matter of policy, and we're about to address it, so that we come to a common understanding that as a government, as one government, is it necessary that water should delay a project? The power should delay a project. The people, telecommunications should delay a project. Is it necessary? That's a matter of policy, and how do we handle it? And soon we shall resolve that one, Your Lordship, and it will not be a problem. So I want to thank you for the cooperation that we have had here. Many of the friends who have spoken before me have definitely mentioned everything. We expect the best. We expect the maximum cooperation for these projects to be finished in time. Today we are commissioning the construction by a company which we would like to call foreign. Yes, they are foreign in the sense that the person who leads probably the company called Chico is a Chinese. Government has a policy of building and using local content. Our own people. In simple terms, they call it Bubu. Build Uganda, buy Uganda. But for us in USMI, we define Bubu like this. We define Bubu to do that one which is local and which can deliver. You don't win a contract because you're local. You should win a contract because of your track record. For what you have done. If I want to produce children, and you ladies, you'll excuse me for this. I know there is a lady who is barren. Should I go and marry that lady? Just because she's a woman? at worst, I will marry that one whom I don't know whether she's pregnant, she's barren or not, but at least I will try with the hope that she's not barren. So for Usmidi projects, please, the local contractors, you pull up your socks. Deliver, and we shall prefer you. Deliver, we shall prefer you. Now in Mbarara here, we have brought a very good competition. There is Chico here. There's another company somewhere. We are the examiners. And we are going to start marking who will get the biggest marks. That's what we want, isn't it? Because over a short period of time, before this project completes, we want all these, is it about, coming to about 11 kilometers? About 11 kilometers in Mbarara. All of them must be finished. And then we'll look at the next phase. Then Mbarara will become truly the regional city. Because Mbarara is meant to be a regional city. Everybody in this region wants to say, I have been to the city. Not just to a city, but to the city. And the city is Mbarara. That's what we are fighting for. So please, in this task, I call upon the local leaders to help us. Beginning with you, the Lord Mayor, I'm happy. Keep visiting these projects to make sure that they deliver. These contractors, don't leave them alone. The councillors, the elected leaders. This is a free gift for you to win the next elections. It is a fulfillment of the President's manifesto. Right. But the biggest beneficiaries are you, the local people, and the leadership here. You will merely come to say, how can you not vote for me? All these roads are mine. Yes. And Obiga Kania will not come and say, they are not of the Lord Mayor, they are his.
Affects everyone. If we handle it well, we all see the benefits of why we got this city. If we mishandle the urbanization process, it becomes disastrous. What would be a town ends up to be a slum. And slums can grow and become so big that the essence of getting into a city becomes a burden and a challenge to everyone. That's why I want to underscore a few points, Honorable Minister, on why infrastructure is so important. I know that infrastructure is in 3 categories. Hard infrastructure, the things that we can see and touch, the roads, the bridges, and all the other things, but also includes the soft infrastructure, things that we can touch and feel with our eyes. But they are so important and very critical in the process of urbanization. And the third one is the critical infrastructure. People have been talking about the Katete Bridge. In this category of infrastructure, we regard it as critical because when it breaks, people can't move. Accessibility to the town is not there. And that affects the entire running of business in the city. So, Honorable Minister, as the Mayor said, we need some of the critical infrastructure, which the people can't do by themselves. Let the government intervention be felt there. Because you are the in charge. I also represent government, but you are the upper office where things can move and decisions are taken and budgets can be allocated for such kind of critical infrastructure to be developed better for our area. The other thing that I would like to talk about, Honorable Minister, is the question of how we can handle the road networking and to ease accessibility and mobility. I know that settlements in developing world is always under the linear system. People develop following the roads. Beyond the roads is either farms, gardens, or abandoned places. And when you look at the roads, you see congestion everywhere. There are houses constructed, but under linear system. If you're in the plain and you look down, you see a lot of area which is so abundant because people don't believe in developing where there are no roads. So the question of Wismith, your intervention should look beyond just building and supporting urbanization of roads, construction of roads and road network and accessibility beyond what we are seeing at the close range. I have always been talking this, and I need to repeat it before everyone here, that Mbarara is a mighty city. Very beautiful city with beautiful terrain. What about if we thought about building a ring road around Mbarara city? Beyond those hills and the terrains, it will ease accessibility for now and for the future. So that as you enter the city, around Bihari or wherever the city is, the boundary, then you have a ring road around it, and the city is in the real center of the city is in the central of that ring road. Then accessibility is easier because all the road connections will go and hit up the ring road. I know this will be an ambitious project for this city, which will limit on development of slums, which will decongest the city for even the 100 years to come. And I know that my president would support such a proposal if Mbarara city, among all the new cities, brought up such an ambitious plan to have a ring road constructed beyond the terrains and the hills of this mighty city of Merrick and Ane. I want to reiterate on one question that was raised concerning the Renjeru land and the conflict around it. It is my area, Northern Division. 2 days ago, the surveyor, the chief surveyor at the Ministry of Lands called me and told me that the permanent secretary had directed him to get in touch with the office of the RCC and expedite the process of opening up boundaries, which we think would solve the question of the land which was bought by government for the people of Renjeru, about 114 households. So, Mr. Taremwa, it's called Tayewa, sorry, of Lands here, promised to come to our office because we have to offer them security and even participate in the mobilization for opening up the boundaries. But the promise has always been there. Even recently when Senior Minister Honorable Nabakova came, when we were giving out the slack land titles, it was still sounded to her and she gave an order. Unfortunately, your technical people have always let us down. And the pressure comes back to the office of the RCC. We also know that there are also other lands which are under contention, where private people have acquired land titles on government lands. So the land grabs in Mbarara are targeting government lands, which we have in plenty in this city. And I would like to implore on you to allow us, at least the local governments, to get titles quickly on those lands and then limit on the battles that are coming up. The other challenge I know will be when you get the lands back to the local governments, what are you using those lands for? Because the moment they stay there idle, they will still attract people who would love to still grab them, either through the councils, using the councillors and the leaders of these areas. Because most of these cases, we have discovered at the office of the RCC that the local leaders participate in these land grabs. We shall not go mentioning them, but as the street office, all our departments continue investigating, but the best thing we can have is to have the titles given to the local governments, and then have a plan also of how to utilize those lands. Whether we give permits to people to use them, we lease out to investors to use those lands, other than just leaving them idle, and let we know that the city needs to be urbanized, the city needs to have a lot of activities, it needs more revenue. Lastly, I would like to say one thing, which I have discovered in this area. Good enough, the contractor of the road construction is from China. I studied urban infrastructure planning from China, and I visited many cities. The land tenure system in China favors construction of government projects easily. The problem we have in Mbarara and other cities, but mostly here, is that people settled before the roads infrastructure were put in place. Right now, constructing roads is really a problem. The government recommends a width of the road, and when they get into the real process of putting it down on the ground, the roads are too shallow. The road reserves have been encroached on by people who own their titles on those lands, and they're not paving way for expansion of roads, which makes utilities passage very difficult. I've had the town clerk, the state clerk, laboring to tell us about the walkways, the cycling lanes, talking about where facilities like electricity would pass, but the people who own the lands where the roads are passing are not giving way. We cannot have a city with small roads where even vehicles can't overtake each other. This process, I think, needs to do with a lot of mobilization of our communities. Mr. Mayor, since you are the chief landlord, let our people have a mindset change. We know that the land belongs to them right now, but the roads are more important and critical that they have to give way. I know that the state does not have the money right now to compensate everyone to access, to allow the expansion to take place. But I think we need to engage the communities more seriously, because we need wider roads that can cater the challenges of today, but also the challenges of the 50 and 100 years to come. I want to underscore one point as I finish, because the rain is not on our side, and I know the guest of honor is traveling more than 400 kilometers from here, still in the wilderness, trying to improve on the road connectivity and accessibility in the whole country. The government of Uganda has done everything possible. I believe that the president has done what he's supposed to do as the president of this country, and the government is endeavoring to do and put in place the projects that individuals cannot do on themselves. But what are we doing as individuals? People have a tendency of blaming government on everything.
And I want to say that Mbarara City has greatly benefited from USMID program right away from its program's inception. During USMID 1, Mbarara municipality as it was then had 5.1, actually 5.2 kilometers of roads rehabilitated, among other things. We want to appreciate the government of Uganda and the ministry, Honorable Minister, your ministry in particular, for heading the transformation of Mbarara City through this USMID program. We want to thank you so much, because under this program, we have had a number of roads rehabilitated. As I shall explain, we have had street lights. Actually, they were the first street lights, solar street lights we had, local revenue enhancement, structure detailed planning, retooling of offices, training of staff and political leaders, through career growth, and of course, inductions. Mr. Minister, what you see in Mbarara City, all these good roads you see around, is partly because of USMID program, and we want to thank you so much. Under batch 1, under USMID program, we had Uchunku Road, Akike Nyabong, Makalista, Oremba, Makanising, Bishop Wills, Constantino Robo, and Babuta roads, which totaled 5.199 kilometers. These ones were tarmacked. Mr. Minister, under USMID additional financing, Mbarara City put in place 704 street lights. Actually, if you come to Mbarara City at night, they even nicknamed my mayor Etara. I don't know how to put it in English, but the whole city is lit. So we want to thank this program for that tremendous development. And the project cost us 6,575,851,000. That was the cost. Still, under this USMID additional financing, we have rehabilitated a number of roads. Under the first batch, we are having Major Victor Wana Road, which is 0.95 kilometers, Gart Road, which is 0.63 kilometers, and Stanley Road, 0.78 kilometers. And under this batch, it totals 2.36 kilometers. So those ones are under rehabilitation. Mr. Minister, sir, this project for the 3 roads, the contract is 23,606,064 shillings. The contractor is Martprex in a joint venture with the TACO, and the project is being supervised by MOBJ in a joint venture with Hassan. That is phase 1. Mr. Minister, about the project we are talking about yesterday. Under that project, Mr. Minister, sir, Victor Wana Road is at 68%, Stanley Road at 47%, and Garrett Road at 39%. So that is the physical performance as far as those roads are concerned. Honorable Minister and members, we have the roads we are commissioning today, Honorable Minister, and the total kilometrage for these roads is 3 kilometers point.
In the meetings they were saying USMID is ending. It's ending. How? We are pledging, we are pleading to government that USMID should not end, because USMID is a parent. USMID has changed the face of cities and urban centers. And for that matter, it is a grant that has come and that has shown impact on people. They work even up to midnight. Lastly, to my people who have been given a job, Chico and the rest, you can stand up. I want to finish with you. BJ, no, MB. UB. Think our person is in. What I want is one, quality work. Quality work. But I have trust in you, because you worked in some of the roads and we did not have any issues. I know you will work, but that was, you know, this is a big thing. You must show your expertise. You must show your expertise. Okay? Quality work. And work done timely. Timely. Stop delays. Then quick response to people's cries. The condition that they normally talk about is our local revenue. Honorable Minister, we are not seated. Mbarara City, as I told you, Engineer Juka, I didn't see you. You are most welcome, and my sister. Mbarara City, we are not seated. And I want to thank you. Abantu bambara nienda kwa simo umuringo gomutano. Umuringo gomutano okushashura umushoro. Kandi tulijira mu ndwara ya COVID etunyangarize. Konka twareba ngo twagezaho nitwe kwebisaho. Umushoro ogutubasize kushoroza. Honorable Minister, we collected. We have been collecting very little money. But this time local revenue. But this time we collected 5 5.5 billion. You go to all those I called cities and ask them how much they collected. They will tell you. We collected 5.5 billion. Out of that we said, much as central government gives us money, we should not all the time be beggars. Please give us this, give us this. We normally demand a lot. Like I cannot even finish without demanding giving. But I want also to tell you that much as I'm going to demand, we have something in place. We bought a very new grader recently. Caterpillar, a very new one. It is 1 week here now. New. And a new pickup. Akandebere mweshi tubyaza kusiba meya naza Kampala na agenda gari yinoguna heza kutembe kimotoka chebitoche hariya kongambo enu hatiriyo tugeza ukori bokuturaje. So I want to thank you so much for that. Giribati kumuruko banu mutamako ka push please how much local revenue, and indeed local revenue is there. Mweshezo no nakuja mtuzihire. Did I save my land? I didn't. But it is just a matter of understanding how to collect that money. One ebindi tindiyo niza kuendera tunaza gamba challenges. Na ebindi kuenda kushaba. Now, Honorable Minister, I'm trying to wind up right now. As I wind up, I have some issues I want to bring to you here. My brother here talked about the issue of Rwenjeru and the issue of surveyor. Then we have another issue of those people in Mbarara South, Nyakayosh area, over land titles. But specifically for this one of Rwenjeru, where the government bought land for people and did not open up boundaries, it is causing a lot of problems. Now people are going to kill themselves, kill each other. We are going to have bloodshed. And when the Minister of Lands was here, she promised to send a surveyor to come and open. I'm sending a message again. Help us, and you quickly send the surveyor to come and open government land. And these people know which is their land, and the other one also know which is theirs, and conflicts get away. Otherwise, since I have seen some people being arrested, even the chairman LC1, the whole village was here, and I heard they were even planning to go to State House to camp there. So please help us. The surveyor comes and opens up the boundaries for these people. My sister, who represented the mayor of Mbarara City South, talked about connectivity of bridges. We have a very big challenge here of an area which is developing at a very high speed called Katete. Katete is an issue. And if I leave this microphone without mentioning about Katete, I know these ones are just waiting to see what did he talk about Katete. He did not even talk about No, that bridge is supposed to be done by Ministry of Works. Works. Ministry of Works. What I did as a mayor, I wrote to the minister and I met him physically, and we discussed about those bridges, Katete, Kanyete, and the rest of the bridges. but more especially the Katete Bridge, which has a lot of traffic all the time. So now, the good thing you sit in cabinet. Me, I'm not reaching that area because I'm not a member of parliament. But if I could be in parliament, I could also all the time putting up my arm, Katete, Katete, give us money for this bridge. Katete, you remind my general is my friend, he has my papers, he has all. At least we do something for this bridge. Then another problem we have is land grabbing. We want to thank you so much, more especially your ministry, because they called us for public hearing. And land grabbers are very tricky people. They can look for lawyers who can ask you questions and be disorganized in the head.
First, this is the contract between Mbarara City and Chongjong International Construction Corporation in South Chico, registered at plot 1472 Jinja Road, Kampala, for the construction of a number of roads. There's Chongorani Municipality Access Road, the Mosque Road, Lower Circular Road, and the Rohara Road in Mbarara City. I congratulate you and wish you very quick work. The next contract document is a contract for the beautification of Rebicona Open Yard Space, Mbarara City, under the Usumit project, and is for the beautification of that open yard so that people can go and relax there. It's between Mbarara City and Mrs. Quaid Construction Limited, registered in Mbarara. Congratulations once again. I think this is now the component of Bubu. So your challenge is to make sure that you prove that actually Ugandans can actually do it. And they can do it. I don't know what's wrong with us. They go out there and they do very good work. But when they do it at their home here, sometimes they don't do very good work. So I would like to see you as an example which we can use all over the country. Once again, congratulations upon winning the contract, and we wish you